Last time on Square Roots, I don't know, we skipped a week. I can barely remember what we did if we don't skip a week, and skipping a whole week, all I know is I saw Nash's butt and it was not cool.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I am joined by Matthew Van Zant.
Hello, friends. Hello, listeners. Hello, world.
John, Mr. Beast, Brandon.
Why would you do that?
And Vanessa.
Please call me Vanessa, unindicted co-conspirator number 4.
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs, one chunker at a time. And I would like to announce that this week we are sponsored by Mr. Beast Feastable Bars.
Johnny, make me a burger. Make me some crunchy crinkle fries with bay seasoning on them.
I don't think he has anything to do with that burger chain anymore. He severed that relationship. And I believe they're all closing.
Yeah,
It wasn't even a real burger chain.
Now he's suing them because people have been posting to social media that they've ordered the burgers, and one person said that a bug crawled out of theirs, and another person said that their burger tasted like it was 2 days old.
No.
Apparently quality standards are low.
Well, I think the way it works is that he just puts his name on it, and then different restaurants license it essentially.
But there's
It's not like it's even a real chain.
But there's a brick and mortar location in Vancouver. There's one on Denman Street.
Weird.
There was one in Tampa, but I don't think you
weird.
could go and sit down and have a burger. I think you could still only order it from DoorDash.
Huh.
Yeah, they've had pop-ups like that here. They were selling those WWE Slam quesadilla things for a while.
No.
Slamadillas.
I'm
So
sorry,
stupid.
what? What are you talking about?
A slamadilla,
I'd like to get one of
They had
those.
WWE themed quesadillas that were. I ordered one when I was hungover one day, and it was garbo.
All right, well, now you're going to get sued by Vince McMahon. I would like to say that I love a slamadilla. Give me that Roman Reigns of Africa on my salad. Give me that.
As as someone who works in advertising, Mr. Beast's product endorsement things, his co-branding of stuff is just the laziest, most uncreative form of just putting your face on something and giving a thumbs up. It's just I hate it. It's annoying.
Jim,
I think what you're really annoyed about is that you didn't come up with it, because he seems to be doing all right with this stuff.
Jim, I was at the grocery store, and there was a rack of energy drinks. And whose face giving a thumbs up do you think I saw on an energy drink? And I was like, there is no reason why this should exist.
Yeah, it was either Logan Paul or Mr. Beast.
No. On the can itself, Ted Lasso.
Oh, man. I was going to guess Kojima if you didn't say that.
Why are there Ted Lasso branded energy drinks?
People love Ted Lasso.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't love Ted Lasso. I only watched the first season.
The second season was good. It was different.
I've never seen a Ted Lasso. I'm sure it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a Ted Lasso either. I don't care for the football, the sports, or sitcoms.
Are you ready for some football?
No!
Oh.
Is that how you leveled up, Jim? You had a WWE Slamadilla?
No, thank God, no. I'd probably be on the toilet with diarrhea right now. My level up, I went and saw the movie Talk to Me, which is the hot new A24 horror film.
It looks really good.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah, it was excellent. It's from a pair of Australian directors who got their start making shorts on their YouTube channel called Raka Raka.
Like khaki shorts?
Little
or golf
little
shorts
horror comedy,
or jean
horror
shorts?
comedy shorts. It was good, and I also watched the entire season of the new Twisted Metal TV show that's on Peacock.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, it's pretty good. It's pretty funny. It's funny and silly and doesn't take itself seriously at all, and has lots of cool car stunts, and the characters are pretty funny and interesting, and I think it's good.
Nice.
I watched the first 3 episodes of that at your recommendation, and I really loved it. I have not watched it since.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
I
I'd
thought
say
it was
pick it up.
fantastic.
I think it's one of those shows that just gets better as it goes. Like the last episode I thought was excellent, and leads into like the actual plot of the Twisted Metal games, which is really fun.
Is that kind of what Halo did?
Yeah, I believe so.
Hey,
But it's really good.
do you think it'll get a second season?
I don't know. I think it's kind of TBD. I think everything is kind of TBD right now.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
But and then I watched another show on Hulu called This Fool. It's a sitcom that takes place in South Central LA. A guy is working for a nonprofit that rehabilitates ex-gangsters, and his cousin that just gets out of prison joins. It's really funny. I would suggest check it out. Michael Imperioli is one of the stars of it, and he's an amazing actor. So check it out if just to see Michael Imperioli.
So, Jim, I don't, just to swing back to, although I'm interested in this fool, just to swing back to Twisted Metal for a moment, how could they make one of my least favorite characters of all time, Sweet Tooth, so hot? How could they do
They
that?
cast Samoa Joe, a notoriously large WWE wrestler, as the body actor, and then they smartly cast Will Arnett as the voice actor, and it really works.
It does work.
I'm uncomfortable with this.
Why?
They take a lot of the more stupid characters from Twisted Metal and either kind of morph them into something that's a little bit more tone appropriate for the show, or take a lot of liberties with the character and make them a lot more interesting than what they are in the game.
The game was real knockoff Todd McFarlane. Which,
it was, very edgelordy.
Yeah.
Yeah, very edgelordy stuff, especially Twisted Metal Black, which is one of the most edgelord games.
I've never played. I just played the first 2.
Twisted Metal Black, when that was on, I think the PS2, it was one of the like big PS2 titles, I think when the PS2 launched, maybe. It's not bad, actually, but it's very dark.
I was scrolling through PSN the other day, and I noticed that they've got those Twisted Metal games right up front and center right now.
Noticed that too. But no, it's super fun. You get like some of the classic characters in there, like Sweet Tooth and Twister and Roadkill and the cop one and the hearse one. Yeah, and then there's references to other characters, and by the end of the season, it kind of sets up, they're actually going to do like a Twisted Metal tournament is what it's leading into.
Yeah. That Sweet Tooth episode is like the second one, and I legitimately thought it was like, it's so like self-deferential where it's like just constantly bagging on itself, but like I legitimately thought that was a fantastic episode of television.
Yeah, and it's super duper silly. Like, it doesn't try to make Sweet Tooth scary. It makes him really silly and violent, and he's actually a huge idiot. It's pretty good. So that's how I leveled up. Vanessa, how did you level up?
Well, like everybody of my demographic, I went to see Barbie. I expected it to be good. I expected it to be visually stunning. I expected it to be funny. I didn't expect it to make me cry like 3 times. Like just sitting in the theater watching the Barbie movie with wet little tears rolling down my cheeks. But I did, and I was not the only one in the theater. It was a packed show full of women in pink. Some men too, but primarily women. It was a special brunch showing. I had a mimosa that might have contributed to my emotional state. But regardless, 5 stars. I cannot say enough good things about it. I won't get into any spoilers about it, but there were some things that I was like shocked to see and hear in a movie. And I can't believe they got away with it, but they did. And it was amazing. And I loved it. I've also been playing the hottest new video game. Everyone's been talking about this release. Everyone's been playing it. I play it. I try to play it for like 8 hours a day. That's been interrupted recently. Sometimes I only get like 5 hours at a time. But it's, of course, Pokemon Sleep, the Pokemon game you play while you sleep.
Woo! How is it?
It's all right. It's a little odd. I mean, the way that you play it is you put it on when you go to sleep, and it lives on your bed next to you or on your phone, and it tracks your motion, essentially, but it also listens to you. And it does record if something happens at a certain decibel level. So it will record if you like roll over in your bed. It, I guess, will record if you snore. It did record one snore from me one evening. I'll admit, I did it. One sleepy snort. But it will tell you how long you take to fall asleep, how long you stay asleep, and then sort of track the quality of your sleep as well. It's not a new idea, the sleep tracker, but it's gamified it so that the more you sleep, the better and stronger your Snorlax gets, and the more Pokemon it will attract. And then you can befriend them, and then they will help you raise your next Snorlax. You get a new Snorlax every week.
You could really fuck someone's life up with one of those apps. Like, you could gaslight somebody into thinking they're getting really terrible sleep all the time.
Absolutely,
or the
yeah.
inverse of that, really good sleep all the time, and just really mess with their heads.
That's a great idea. I hadn't thought of doing that, but I guess when I get bored of, like, maybe when I've caught all the Pokemon normally, I can start using it for a campaign of terror against my friends and family. But until then, I think that I'll be happy just playing it normal style. And if you're interested in a sleep tracker, it might be something that you want to look at. I wasn't that interested in a sleep tracker. I was sort of interested in like the quality of sleep I was getting and whether or not I was waking up in the night, especially because sometimes my cat jumps on the bed. And I was a little worried, hey, maybe he's jumping on the bed all night and then I'm waking up a little bit and I don't know it because I just go back to sleep. But that doesn't seem to be the case. I did manage to score a sweet 9er a couple nights. That's a full 9 hours of sleep. Good for me. I love my sleepy
good. I bet you
snoozy
felt
time.
great.
I did feel good. Thank you, Jim. I did indeed. And one thing it does do is, because like if I wake up in the night and pick up my phone, I see the app on there and I'm like, oh, it's still running. There's my little sleeping Pikachu. Maybe I shouldn't like in the middle of the night just start looking at my phone. Maybe I should put it down and go back to sleep. I think that's something that we all struggle with from time to time in this day and age. Pokemon Sleep, it's free. They're probably going to like track your information and sell it to someone, and then they'll like know your sleeping patterns. But every corporation knows everything about us anyway. You might as well play Pokemon Sleep. Matt.
Yes?
I'm so excited for your level up.
Why?
Well, before you accused me that I wasn't excited for it, and I was like, he wouldn't be saying that unless he had leveled up in some amazing way. So I am prepared to have my mind blown by your level up, which will happen right now.
Well, let me put it this way. I have a task for you. That's right. I watched the first 2 seasons of Taskmaster.
What?
It's my new favorite show.
Oh my god, this is a dream
amazing.
come true. My life just like, it's like the sun came up over the mountains.
It's so good. I know that you guys probably haven't heard of it. It's a little known British show. It's like a panel show. It's very silly. Like there's 4 people, 4 comedians, and there's a master of tasks and his assistant. Is it 5? No, it's 5. And then they do the tasks, and it's very silly. And I laughed myself I laughed so hard I almost passed out watching the egg eat an egg. task from the second season last night. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's the perfect show. Every season,
Vanessa, have you heard of this?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I just read this article in Polygon about it, actually. It was like 5 reasons you should watch Taskmaster, so I thought I'd check it out. What I like about Taskmaster is that every season, basically, you will fall in love with like 1 to 2 people because there are all these comedians who we don't get a lot of exposure to in the United States. So, like, season 1, completely fell in love with Tim Key. And who else was on it? Oh, Josh Widdicombe. Season 2.
Completely fell in love with
from that.
Completely fell in love with Katherine Ryan, who can fucking get it.
You totally would.
Oh my God.
She is like every bit your type. If I was to imagine, it would be her.
100%.
Matt, I gotta know, what was the tipping point? What pushed you? What pushed you into this Taskmaster addiction?
Okay, well, I finished MasterChef. Like, I finished it. I watched it all. I watched all the way up to the current episode. I watched all of MasterChef. And then I was like, I would like to watch more quirky British. I know MasterChef isn't British, but I would like to watch some quirky British comedy. And that was it. You know? What else was I going to watch? God knows I've heard nothing but anything about Taskmaster for the last year of my life.
I recall you messaging that you had finished MasterChef and you didn't know what to do. And I believe I responded to you.
That was
if
it.
you want British men yelling at someone, I have a show for you. And
That
you
did it.
responded, don't say Taskmaster, don't say Taskmaster, don't say Master. I knew it. I knew it was just a matter of time. I got Johnny. I got you. There's only one person in my sights right now. It's old Banksy there.
Jim, have you watched Taskmaster?
No.
Jim, it's pretty
Gonna
fucking
get 'em.
funny. It's on YouTube. Like, I'm watching it on YouTube.
Yeah, it's totally free. I have ways to get to Jim. I can contact people, in his life, and
It's the first thing I've watched. It's the first show I've watched in a while that legitimately like makes me like belly laugh, where I'm just like dying laughing. It's so
that's
funny.
what gets me too.
It's not every task, not every episode, but
Right.
it's consistent enough. And I love Greg, the Taskmaster, and I love what's his name? What's the assistant's name? I know he's the creator of the show, Alex.
Yep.
I knew it was an A. And I love Alex. And I just love how silly it is. And I love Alex's looks at the camera when somebody's doing something incredibly stupid.
Alex is so bitchy, but like not in a blatant way at all. Like he's the most passive aggressive, wonderful assistant. It's fantastic.
It really does remind me a bit of Whose Line Is It Anyway? And in that, like, the points don't matter. Nothing really matters. It's just a comedy show. But it's great. That's it. That's my level up. I've been watching Taskmaster. I'm on the 3rd season. It's my new favorite show.
I am so happy to hear it. There's a moment in season 2 during the surprise Alex task where I laughed so hard it like hurt me.
Which moment was it?
The very last contestant who went in that involved water and a couch.
Is that season? That's the new season, right? That's season 3.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry.
I think so. Yes, I watched that one today. And it is, yes, it was hilarious. And it's funny because they all excel in different ways. But sometimes someone will like read the task and like see through the task and be like, oh, wait, there's definitely like a better way to do this, and then do it. And that's always hilarious. But then sometimes none of them will get it. And they're just all just a bunch of morons throwing at a potato at a hole, you know, and just not really reading through it. Oh, man, it's really good. I'm excited to watch through it. I don't know when I'll run out of...
I think you're going to hit my favorite season next, especially with wonderful Mel Goydrich, who is one of my favorite people of all time.
I know that I'll hit the point where it's not on YouTube, and then I'll have to find some other way to watch it. But I think that there's not a doubt in my mind that I will end up watching this entire season. Anyway, so I watched Taskmaster. I mentioned already that I had watched some Twisted Metal, and I really like it. I'm going to finish it at some point. And that's it. What about you, Johnny? How did you level up?
Me? Well, let's see. I've done a few things. I posted another video review onto YouTube. This time, I posted a very silly review of one single track in London, in Gran Turismo 6. Now, you might think, Johnny, I'm not particularly interested in open world games and racing games. Well, I recommend you watch my videos anyways. One, because I need the views, and two, because generally I don't take the whole idea of reviewing games very seriously, and they're full of stupid jokes. So, if you like my sense of humor, you should check it out. The channel is Koobert, Koobert. Sort of like the creature from the Atari games there, but different.
I watched it and I liked it.
Did you like all the references to the theater?
I did. I love the theater. And the theater loves me. And I'm only sort of passingly familiar with London, but I still found it really interesting.
Yeah. And how it does reveal the fact that when I was 20 and staying in London over the summer, I did go to Pizza Hut like all the fucking time.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. I think is it different there though?
No, it's at least it's the same as Canada. I don't know if I ever went to the Pizza Hut in the States. I think by the time I moved to the US, I had grown out of my Pizza Hut phase.
I know I've heard about people talking about the like Pizza Hut like salad bar?
Yeah.
Which is not
Pizza
really
Hut buffet.
Yeah, the
is
lunch buffet.
The best.
It's crazy because if you go to a place that has it, it's like $10. All you can eat pizza and salad. It's pizza.
Yeah,
pizza.
they have one like 10 minutes from me, and it's amazing.
It's
Wow.
like, imagine it's almost the same price as CC's, but unlike CC's, is not just cardboard with a tiny bit of cheese on it.
Cece's is garbage.
Yeah, CC's is. It is actually cheaper than making food when I'm in college.
Pizza Hut is absolute garbage. 100% trash.
CC's is worse than Pizza Hut.
Yes. CC's is not trash, it's roadkill.
And CC's is better than Chuck E. Cheese, which is the single worst pizza I've ever had in my life.
I don't think that you go to Chuck E. Cheese for the pizza.
Chuck E. Cheese did revamp their pizza like 6 or 7 years ago. I know this because 6 or 7 years ago, my daughter was 6 or 7 years old. And we did frequent the Chuck E. Cheese near us a few times. And I gotta say, the pizza wasn't half bad after they actually listened to people that said it was hot garbage.
Yeah,
You know,
interesting.
the only time I've been to Chuck E. Cheese twice, I was drunk both times.
Do you think...
Were you with children?
No.
That's
Oh.
Don't do that.
Don't do
Well,
that.
I was with.
Don't go to Chuck E. Cheese without children.
I don't know. I've
Particularly
never.
drunk.
It was my birthday, and I'd never been to a Chuck E. Cheese. There were literally no kids there, so don't worry about that.
Go to an arcade.
Well, nobody's worried about you around kids, Johnny, but it just seems like
it's
not a good look.
I just wanted to see what it was like, and it was my birthday, so I got drunk. This was, in my defense, 23 years ago. So, you know.
I went to a Chuck E. Cheese birthday party with adults.
Oh, so you were like 3 years old.
Sorry? Yeah, no, that's Vanessa was 3 years old.
Yeah.
No, it's all of us.
No.
We're all.
We're all
Oh, you're
20-somethings.
right. Yeah.
But Johnny
So
is 29, so...
Yeah, I was a drunk 6-year-old at Chuck E. Cheese, so it was totally normal. Yeah, I didn't know that it was such a. I mean, I'd heard it was a kid's. I didn't realize what sort of restaurant it was. It was, I was a kid. I was not a kid. I was unfamiliar with Chuck E. Cheese. I didn't have them where I grew up.
The tagline, the motto for the restaurant, where a kid can be a kid, that didn't throw you off, is that it might be a kid-focused establishment.
From later on, I swapped it out with Dave and Buster's, which is appropriate for adults to be drunk playing arcade games.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That is,
in fact, it's
where you go.
encouraged.
Yeah.
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 I actually went to it's not a name brand, but I went to a place that has a bunch of arcade games, like a bar-straunt with a bunch of arcade games this weekend, and played some Buck Hunter with my son. We played it on Terminator mode, and it was actually kind of neat. I didn't hate it.
I went to a barcade for my 40th birthday. Or sorry, well, I don't.
29th birthday.
The math is hard. 29th birthday. And that was really fun too. I just like going to barcades. So I didn't realize where kids should be a kid is not where. Anyway, you know what? I have also been playing other games, including, and I'm going to do another review on my famous YouTube channel about this. But the next game I'm going to review is actually Mercenaries. Do any of you play Mercenaries 1 for the Xbox or PS2?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah,
but
I played Mercenaries. How many of those Mercenaries games are there?
There's 2. The second one kind of sucks, but the first one's amazing. It's such a good game.
I
It's
remember, I think I've played both of them.
Yeah.
Are those the ones where you just make a ton of money by
Yes.
doing missions and stuff?
Yeah, and blow up
Yeah,
things.
I love those games. Those games were fun.
That first game's really interesting because you're basically playing off all the factions. Basically, North Korea has crumbled. It's now run by a different dictatorship, and China, the United States, the Russian gangsters, and South Korea are all in there, and you're doing missions for each one of them. And kind of you have to keep it on the down low that you're killing the other factions. It's weird that you're killing like the United Nations people sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you take one out with a sniper. Well, you don't have to do it with a sniper rifle, but there's a really cool mission where you can. It's like the Just Cause games are very similar, but this one this one feels a little more serious, and there's more of the playing the factions against each other, and you can pretend to be one faction, and then you won't get any penalties to your reputation if you're like driving a North Korean tank and then blow up a allied tank because they'll think that you're North Korean. All of these levels were gone in Mercenaries 2, which sucks. But anyway, I've been playing Saints Row, the new one that came out last year that got panned, and I really like it. I think it's great. I don't know why people hated it. I think it's super fun. It's pretty. It's very queer. Maybe I don't think that's why people hated it. Like, it has a bit of the Burger King's Kids Club kind of diversity thing, like Watch Dogs 2 did, but I don't know, it's fine. Like, I love Watch Dogs 2, and I think this game is pretty great too. So I don't think it's people. I will give people the benefit of the doubt. I think that it launched pretty rough, and it doesn't have the same cast of characters as the original 4 Saints Row games.
I mean, the reviews at the time were that it was wildly broken. So it sounds like it's been patched.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, is that they shouldn't have released it when they did, because now it looks amazing. I haven't had any crashes or weirdness. I haven't seen a single glitch. Really.
Well, I could be wrong, but I think that whole studio got laid off, basically. So.
Oh, really? Oh,
I think so.
That's Volition. They did lots of cool. Like, they're the ones that did.
It's all Embracer, though, right? Didn't they shut down a shitload of studios?
Maybe, yeah, probably. But yeah, it is Embracer. But Volition is the studio, and like they did all those Red Faction games, like that amazing Red Faction Guerrilla.
Oh, that's a great game.
What a good game. I do like open world games where you can blow stuff up. I also saw the Barbie movie. Jim, have you seen the Barbie movie?
I have not seen the Barbie movie.
I'm just going to spoil one slight section for you. Didn't you think it was weird in the Barbie movie how at the end you saw Matt Mikkelsen just dead in the background with his face burned off? And you're like, they're not even making a big deal about this?
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Like, I understand the metaphor, but I did think that it was a really sharp right turn. And the whole time I was like, why is this movie rated PG-13? And then I got my answer. Like,
this is more
wow.
Indiana Jones spoilers, isn't it?
What? I don't know what you're talking
You
about.
sons
Anyway,
of
that's the end of
bitches.
my level up. High five, Jim. More
It's weird how they killed Shia LaBeouf's character Ken's son off screen in
Yes.
a war that was just passively mentioned.
Yeah, at least it does provide like a reason for. Especially, I thought it made the last act very sweet. It was less thrown off than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He
sorry
died
for the
in
Barbie.
My Little Pony War.
John, I've also been picking up some somewhat older games that I didn't really give a good shot at. I recently replayed the story mode of Grand Theft Auto 5, which is one that I kind of only played halfway through.
I fucking had to skip every cutscene.
Like a lot of those. a lot of those characters are bad, but they're written that way, and I think they're well written in a way that makes them shitty.
But
and
every woman sucks in that game in such a shitty
they
way.
did not write the women very well at all. Yeah,
And in Grand Theft Auto 4, the women were good. Like, it's weird.
Grand Theft Auto 4 is a great game. All the characters in that game are really well done. And I've also been playing Max Payne 3.
Oh, nice. I've heard that's pretty good.
It's actually, it has some great like shooting set pieces. There's some like really impressive ones. And I also started playing today Red Dead Redemption 2.
Ooh, yeah, I have that.
That game actually is really, really good. I know it's kind of like cliche, like people, everybody has played Red Dead Redemption 2. It's kind of like the open world, the high standard for open world games, at least for the past like 5 or 7 years. But man, it's well deserved. That game is great. The characters are well done. The world is absolutely gorgeous. And it actually does feel like you can just happen upon some random events that are happening. Like I was just riding my horse and I ran upon a guy who was dangling from a tree about to be murdered by a cougar. So I had to shoot the cougar and help this guy.
I haven't got past the snowy opening kind of, but that part feels like it drags on a lot.
That's the prologue, and if you can get through the prologue to where you actually get off of the snowy mountain and into like where the game properly takes place, it's great. The missions are so much fun. Like I love doing the story missions; they're all great. There's one where you accompany one of your gang members to like a bar, and you proceed to get drunker and drunker, and like at first, like the camera just distorts a little bit, and you have trouble controlling your like character, and then as you get drunker, the commands to interact with stuff will be spelled wrong. Like greet is spelled great, or the text is just totally backwards. And then as you get even drunker, you're starting to look for your friend, and every character in the bar looks vaguely like your friend.
That's cool.
And then at one point you're like in a brothel, you bust into one of the rooms where 2 people are having sex, and the man and the woman both look exactly like your friend that you're looking for. It's really funny. But yeah, I'm having a really fun time with Red Dead Redemption 2. It's really neat.
I do think that maybe I want to do like maybe add like LA Noire, GTA 4, and Red Dead Redemption 1 to a vote sometime.
Yeah.
I would love to play Red Dead Redemption 2 on this show and LA Noire. GTA less.
Red Dead Redemption 1 is also really good, and it has a great DLC called Undead Nightmare.
I didn't like that as much.
I like that a lot, but I was thinking like Rockstar has just made some absolutely technically incredible games. I know they get a lot of flack for being a shit company, and it's well deserved, at least culturally. But their games are so just on a technical level so incredible,
and like the ironic racism and the weird libertarianism. There's a whole lot of stuff in those games.
No. In that, especially in like GTA 3 and Vice City, like there's just that weird South Park libertarianism that sits in it, and it's just really gross. But I don't know, they're like I said, on just a technical level, playing the games is just a cool experience.
I will say in GTA 5, Franklin's fine. There's nothing wrong with Franklin. It's the other two.
Yeah, but the fact that like I can bust into an airport and steal a fighter jet, and fly a fighter jet around the gate, like that's a cool thing to do. I could steal a helicopter. I can steal a submarine.
You wouldn't steal a helicopter.
It's great.
All right,
he would. He would.
So, is there a Matt stupid game today?
Nope, no game today. We're gonna forego the game. We're on a tight time schedule.
Then let's move on to the quest log. Remember last time we got the blueprints to that inventor in Iluk.
Yeah, we got that balloon. It's balloon time.
I remember.
And then we got a sweet, sweet balloon. I did pull. There's like a lever that this guy said not to pull or it'll ruin his experiment. I did pull that lever.
Johnny.
I just wanted to see what happened. His experiment blew up.
Yeah, I did that too.
Matt.
What?
It was funny. Come on.
Can't believe you two.
So we went up, up, up in our beautiful balloon. I did like the balloon scene because it was all like a tiny little pixel balloon on the map, but then everyone was describing in like crazed detail exactly what was happening to the balloon. It was like a text adventure. And so Jessica is the one steering it, and she manages to get it inside the big volcano. And this, I was kind of surprised that it could land with, you think that convection and like it would lift the balloon out like in like a link. Oh, Matthew, one more level up thingy. I defeated the final divine beast.
Oh yeah, which one was your final one? Was it Goron?
It was the Goron one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was some fun puzzles. I was like, oh, am I going to have to look up how to do this? And then I was like, no, I can figure this out. And I did.
I mean, you're right there. Hyrule Castle is awaiting you. It's not hard.
Is it long?
It can be if you're a poke every corner person. It also can be incredibly short. And I said this about Tears of the Kingdom. By the time you get to Ganon, the game is not sure how much time you've really spent doing things.
Right.
And Ganon is really fucking easy.
Mm-hmm. That Thunder... I think I was just unprepared for Thunder Blight Ganon.
It's the hardest one. It's tough.
Super hard.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But the Fire Ganon was pretty... I didn't die once. I had a bunch of ice arrows, which really hurt that guy. That was pretty fun. Anyway, okay. So, Red Dragon Lair. Lots of fire pits. It's pretty dangerous. Some fire.
Makes you walk through the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Several times.
Just... I would rather dance through the fire.
Okay.
How do you feel about fire?
Sound is always seen.
Dance into the fire. The fatal sound of broken dreams. Dance. Do you think that song was originally called Dance into the Fire? And then they're like, oh, we should make a James Bond song. So they added like a twangy guitar to it and then added stuff about A View to a Kill.
Yeah, because it's pretty much an afterthought. It's just like, when all we need is a view to a kill, also it's fire.
Yeah. It's still an amazing Duran Duran song.
It
is. Going through this fire will damage you, but that is the part of the trial of the dragon. And
it
then
also doesn't damage you much. It's
And then you get to meet
like the dragon says to you, like, don't be afraid. Be brave boy, fire boy. So I didn't even hesitate. I was like, I'm not afraid. I'll show you, dragon.
And then you meet the cutest dragon. Especially, I don't know if you've seen this dragon in the PSP version. It looks like a red How to Train Your Dragon dragon.
Oh, I had no idea.
It's so adorable. Like, it looks just like Toothless. It looks just like a red Toothless. Even it did come out before How to Train Your Dragon. Even the window, I think, because I was looking at the version you guys were playing, and the little picture of it looks adorable, even in the version you played. Little thing of that.
Little guy, little feller.
Did I ever tell you about the time I met the director of How to Train Your Dragon?
No, tell us.
It is not a work story. It is a bear story.
Oh.
Because we were about to go to a bear night, me and my friends, and we were at a pho restaurant, and I saw that there was a bear couple there. I was like, oh, hey, are you guys going to the bear night after? And they're like, oh, yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, I just, I was being friendly. I was interrupting their dinner, but I didn't know it was a famous person who's won, like, Oscars and stuff. Like, he was the art designer for Lilo and Stitch. And,
nice.
And I was like, oh, so what do you guys do? He's like, oh, I work for DreamWorks. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, I'm working on the project. He didn't say he was a director at all.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it till afterwards, and I was very embarrassed. I had been like just coming up and talking to him like he was a normal person.
No, I'm sure he was charmed. Famous people love that. They like being normal from time to time.
His boyfriend did not like it. He was giving me tank guy, so I left. Yeah.
Well, he might have thought that you actually know who he is, and then you're just like being coy or whatever.
I genuinely did not. If you're listening, I don't know.
I'm sure.
Anyway.
He is.
Mm-hmm. Of course, all the bears listen to this bear podcast.
It's the number one bear podcast about video games.
Mm-hmm. So, what did you think of the Red Dragon?
I thought that it was okay. I thought that, the whole Hannibal franchise is kind of overplayed. I didn't think they really need to remake Manhunter, which is essentially what Red Dragon was. I thought, was it Ralph Fiennes who's in that? I thought he did a good job.
Ralph Fiennes was the best part of that movie, for sure.
Yeah, he was. I didn't actually mind the recasting of Clarice. I know a lot of people sort of had a big problem with that, but it was a little bit too melodramatic.
I did enjoy seeing Philip Seymour Hoffman get set on fire and rolled. And it was put in a wheelchair, strapped in a wheelchair, and rolled down a hill. I thought that was pretty great.
That was pretty fantastic.
So, at the end of this dungeon, you meet the Red Dragon. This is the one where you meet the Red Dragon, and the Red Dragon's like, oh, go get this thing. And then you run into Royce, and Royce makes you fight a couple of statues, and you come back and the dragon's gone. And, like, the spirit appears, and it's like, oh, Galleon, while you were gone, Galleon stole my body. And, yeah. Oh, no, I think he was gone from the first... Yeah, I think this guy was gone the first time you get there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So you first fight Royce, and then you get to the dragon's thing, and the dragon's not there. He's like, oh, you're too late. I was already abducted.
Yeah, or dead? I thought he was dead, not abducted, but he's abducted.
I think it's different in the PSP version, where he's not dead. And
interesting.
He was just turned into like a little marble, and his spirit was stolen by Galleon.
Doesn't he say like he's enslaving them?
Yeah,
he does say that. So maybe I was just misinterpreting.
I think,
the whole
but
situation.
He's sure acting like he's dead. I don't think you're wrong. I don't know. It's weird.
Aren't these dragons like immortal though? Doesn't one of them say that like even if his body dies, he's still gonna be a immortal dragon soul?
Yeah, and he's going to come back more powerful than you can even imagine.
Yeah.
As like a blue ghost that can't do anything.
Even if you strike me down. All right, I get it.
You'll be a blue ghost. I'm not afraid of blue ghosts. What are you going to do? You can't even force choke me. Come on.
Yeah. I'm only afraid of him when you don't know he's a ghost, like in, what is it? The second one of the new trilogy.
Snoke?
No, I'm
Last
talking
Jedi?
about... Yeah, Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, when he's a ghost, what you don't know is a ghost. Terrifying.
What? When was he a ghost you don't know is a ghost?
Well, he wasn't a
end.
ghost. He
Towards
was
the end.
projecting his own little felt.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. I see.
I
what
guess
you're saying.
technically he was still alive at that point.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hey,
Wow.
speaking of Jedi,
Spoilers.
I would like to
Spoilers.
append to my level up. I have recently finished the story for Jedi Survivor, the new. Who makes that game?
That is Respawn.
Respawn, yeah, the second in that Respawn Jedi series. It's so good. It's a little technically
really wanna play
janky,
it.
a little technically janky, but man, it's a fantastic Star Wars story. And I'm saying that as a guy who's not super into Star Wars, but this one was excelente. Loved it.
I'm just because I bought Final Fantasy 16 full price, and I bought Saints Row. And I think I'm gonna buy a cheaper copy of Paper Mario Thousand Year Door this weekend. And the second I do that, it's gonna come out on Switch like the next week. You know that, right? I am doing you all a favor here. I've never played it. It's apparently the best Paper Mario game, and I love
heard
those
that
Paper
too.
Mario games. I do want to do probably if we do a Paper Mario, it either has to be the first one or Origami King because those are still available. Those are the
I've
only
played
ones,
both of those, and
I
they're
think.
both very good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
I
never
love-
played one. I'd like to.
I think
They're
Origami
great.
King is so beautiful and cute
It
and funny.
is.
I think that'd be such a good.
They
game.
do such cool things with that paper format in those games. It's just really fun to look at.
And they're just really sweet and well written. I mean, Vanessa, it's very similar to the Mario and Luigi eaten by. I mean, it has less vor. There is less vor, but like mechanically, they're similar.
Yeah.
Is there still some vor though?
Probably someone eats some paper. I would assume.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so Red Dragon is gone, and everyone's like, "Well, now it's back to our balloon," and up, and away in a beautiful balloon.
Baloo.
Unfortunately, Jessica, I don't know if the balloon goes wrong or Jessica's like piloting ability goes wrong. Jim, do you think it's the woman's fault or the man's fault?
Yeah, definitely the woman's fault. Even if it was like a defect in the balloon, it's probably, I mean, odds are it's a lady's fault.
I mean, the game makes it clear that it's the lady's fault because as the balloon is crashing to the ground, we get lots of dialogue of like, I knew this was a job for a man. I
Well,
can't
I
believe
don't
we
think
let
you're
a
supposed
woman
to-
pilot
Kyle.
take the controls.
I don't think
Yeah.
you're supposed to think Kyle is right. I thought that was just Kyle being a dick.
No, this is
then
definitely the
again-
game explaining to you that women can't fly balloons and that only men can fly balloons.
I mean, in Vanessa's defense here, there's so many like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Hang out with my wife?
Yeah.
Like at the bar in the next town, there's someone that specifically says that. And then there that M&M's.
I don't know why we
guy
hold
and the
this
Tootsie Roll
game to
guy.
account so much for this stuff when everything in the
well,
90s did this.
I
It's-
think this game caused the
Sexism?
Gamergate alt-right reactionary movement specifically. This game, for the last 20 years of incendiary politics, Lunar is where it started.
Yeah, sexism doesn't exist on this earth if not for Lunar.
Exactly.
It's true. It's true. It's just like racism doesn't exist unless you keep talking about it. I like the, cover your eyes and everything will go away. Everything bad just disappear. La, 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 la.
So now
I
you
can't
get
see it.
notice that the bridge in Myriad. And the scientist isn't mad that his balloon broke. He's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's fine. It was gonna break anyways. I'm gonna make an even better one next time." But in the meantime, the bridge
This was a
in
death
Myriad,
trap, is what he says, basically. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you're alive? Weird.
So the bridge in Myriad is fixed. You have to you go back to everyone's favorite weird, kind of shitty towards country people town, where everyone's
Yeah.
cousins. You know
Yeah.
that town?
You do run into one lady who is talking about how her beau has been talking to other women, and she says, cousin or no cousin, I'm not respecting a man who doesn't respect me.
Well,
So good for her? Is that a good?
and frankly, I think that Alex and Luna are in some pretty fucking glass houses looking down on these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Yeah. Come on.
Even these people, if they explained their situation, they'd be like, your sister? No, sir.
So the next place you go is Lytton, the town from Police Quest 1, I assume, and 2 and 3.
It's
Not
pretty
4.
exciting.
What's
4 is
Police
by
Quest?
Daryl Gates. Oh, the Sierra games like Space Quest and King's Quest, but you're playing a police officer.
Oh, did you play
Yeah.
those on like a retro gaming thing, Johnny?
Yes.
When you were 7?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
In the mid
Someone brought this
2000s?
old computer. I was like, I can't. How does this computer even work? What are these crazy little discs?
Yeah. Have you ever seen one of those? It's like a mouse, but it's got a weird ball in it. Like there's a ball just in the mouse, and
What?
it rolls around on its ball. It's so weird, and you're like, "Where's the laser?"
So they're boy mouses? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And they roll around on their
I
balls.
didn't know there was a name for them.
Boy mouse. So you get to Lytton.
What do female mouses
And
do? Oh, they have
the music-
lasers.
Yeah.
The music is a banger here. It's real architecture.
It
in
is so
Helsinki.
good.
It's a syncopated drum beats and just fantastic. What a good soundtrack. And everyone's like, hey, the music here is amazing, but we can't sing to it. And you're like, well, yeah, you can. You just gotta jazz it. You gotta hear the melody in your mind and feel it.
I didn't think there was anything wrong with this music. I thought it sounded slapping. It was great.
It's great.
It's funny how like they're like, this is terrible, and I'm like, I can't stop singing it.
No, because it has the tune, and
It's
then
like,
underneath it has like.
I've been rewatching Community. There's
good.
a couple of things that I'm like, you know
for
what?
sure.
It was the transfer dance episode. I'm like, ooh, they would
I mean, you're not
make
supposed
this
to.
today.
You're not supposed to think that that's a good thing.
But you're supposed to think it's funny.
I mean, my favorite line from the history of that show is Chang going gay, which is not good. But
I like it.
it's not good, but it's
Especially,
really funny.
isn't it at
Also,
the end?
he's scum,
it's the-
so
well, and the last episode where he's calling something gay, he's like, "Gay, I'm gay,
yeah.
I'm gay." So
That's a
there's a
classic
good.
That's I think Vanessa and I watched it, the Amazon show Invincible, where
We did?
the main character's best friend is gay. In the original, started in the 2000s comic book, he's not gay. He just is one of those guys that calls everything gay. And then over the course of the 10 years that book came out, that slowly stopped being acceptable. And by the end of it, they were like, oh, he just said that because he was gay. So for the show, they were
really
like,
how it works.
yes.
But
For the show, they were like, he's gay from the start. We fixed it. Okay.
yeah,
Kind of not really, because it was always problematic.
Yeah, I was at a workplace in 2005 where a coworker's like, "Oh, that's gay." I'm like, "What? What do you mean by that?" Let's unpack this a little.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't sit here and pretend like I wasn't exactly like that when I was a teenager, you know? It
Yeah,
sucks.
but this was. I mean, I was 7, but this was a workplace.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good point.
He was on set in his child star era.
Exactly. So then they're like, "Oh, could you fix it? You need to go to the Wind Shrine to fix it because that'll make the Blue Dragon Temple appear when we do our little ceremony. But we can't do it right now because the music's slapping, and we don't like slapping music."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So,
just a short little stupid dungeon. Also, I solved the puzzle
I
at the end
hated
of this
this
dungeon
dungeon. I
on my
hated it.
first try with absolutely no idea. I was just like, well, I'll move this one this way, and then I'll move that one that way, and I'll move that one that way. And the end, it worked.
This one has holes, and if you fall in the wrong hole, it'll put you back to the beginning.
Yeah, it's
and
annoying.
then-
But they're obvious.
Yeah.
They're obvious.
Yeah, it was just. You know what? I think the problem was that I was following a very bad walkthrough, and I did actually get to the end of it like the first time without looking at the walkthrough. But I was like, oh, I think this is the end, so I went back, and then I tried following the walkthrough, and it was very poorly written. And
Yeah, I'm using the RPG shot or RPG Shrine walkthrough for this, and
does that work?
Yeah, me too.
For
No,
the PSP version.
Well, I don't know. About
yeah, it does because it's the Lunar
Okay.
whatever version Lunar. I don't remember the version that what we're playing is called. John Lunar something.
Harmony.
Silver Star Harmony.
Heart of the Star.
Yeah, but I'm using a walkthrough for that one, and just the description of some of the dungeons is so bad.
Yeah. The people, I've noticed this in other games we've played because the RPG Shrine, the walkthroughs themselves are usually pretty good, but they're loaded with like the writer's commentary that is generally
Oh my
like,
God.
yeah,
The-
women suck, right?
The Lunar one is
Look at these
full of
teenage
that.
babes.
It is. There's a lot of that in the
Yeah.
Lunar one, and it's
Yeah.
dog shit.
It's fucking garbage.
No.
It's too
It's
bad because
2000s gamer humor.
Yeah, they definitely they're good walkthroughs as far as like telling you where to go and what to find, and they're good.
Lots of pictures and stuff.
but
Usually,
but they're garbage.
I was watching one of Johnny's least favorite performers. They uploaded to their official YouTube channel an old series of 8 out of 10 cats starring Jimmy Carr. And I tried to watch one of them, and the first one I put on, it was like, trans joke, fat joke, trans joke.
Oh
and I was
gosh.
like, nope.
you're like, wait, is this why Johnny doesn't like Jimmy Carr?
Is this what Johnny does? I thought he was just being irrational, and he was just like, oh.
Emotional. That time of
he
the
was just
gay
being
month
one of those,
again.
like, one of those sensitive queers.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
What
then
they call internet calls them tender queers.
tender queer. He was being a tender queer. But it sucked. And it made me sad.
I hated this dungeon. I think I had to do it I started from the beginning 10 times.
Me
or something.
too. I kept falling
I'm
into a
surprised
fucking
that you guys
stupid
are so
hole.
generous to it.
I actually, I kind of used this dungeon to grind up a bit. So, I did the same thing, but, intentionally. I kept just getting a little further in, and then teleporting out and healing up at the shrine, and then getting a little further in, and I packed on, 5 levels. I used it to grind, and it was, it was good. This game
What do you
has...
mean generous to it, Vanessa?
This game has, I think, since our last episode, I think my squarely against was that it's, real stingy with, XP, and that seems to have changed. Now I'm getting 1,000 XP per fight, and I can level up pretty quick.
That's good. What do you mean generous?
I think that you guys were being generous in saying that it was nice. Is that what I said? I don't remember what I said.
I think that I was finding it easier earlier. A couple of dungeons here were real annoying, I thought.
Yeah.
Just for the sheer on the PSP version, the enemies will just come at you. There's no way to really dodge them unless you're super running. And even then it's really hard to not get hit by the enemies.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
Which I know
that's true.
I can definitely get away from these fucking things.
I think the PSP version, because the maps are smaller, it's a lot harder to run away from them.
I actually never tried to run away because I'm so paranoid about being under-leveled for a boss fight. So I have
Well,
been...
the boss is level to you.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
No, it told me.
Huh.
Johnny,
Their
you didn't tell
health
me.
will be your level times whatever.
Oh,
No,
interesting.
it told me.
It's the in-between shit that'll wreck you.
So that puzzle at the end is there's a bunch of holes, and then you can move some rocks in front of the holes.
Yeah, there are.
To make it sound different. But the problem is that you can't pull the rocks back. You can only push them. So if you put them in the wrong hole, you have to leave and come back. At least there's no enemies in this little area, so you can do that easily. Just keep leave and come back, and then push them in the correct holes. It just took me a couple of times to get them, really jam them into the right holes. They're the 2 left holes. When I say right holes, I mean the 2 left holes.
The third hole. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, don't put anything in there. And so as you push the rocks in the correct direction, you'll hear the music start to change, and then eventually it just sounds kind of boring. I don't like the new music. It's not.
Yeah,
as
the new
good.
music is just normal song.
It's not wild and crazy slamming beats.
No, it's not wild and crazy slamming beats, and nobody likes it.
It really does get, in my opinion, worse as well. In my opinion as well,
Yeah.
it really does get worse, which I thought was really funny. What's going on here? That they're just
And it is the same melody, but then it's just the same boring music that we have in this whole series. I mean, the
Okay,
music, I
hang
shouldn't
on.
call it boring. It's
Yeah.
pretty
The
good.
music in this game is fantastic. It gets lodged in my brain.
The bad music track is so much fun. Anyway, so you go back to Lytton, and they're all happy because the music's boring, because they're all I love Michelle Bublé and Celine Dion, except for her Jim Steinman era, because that's too good.
I love the story about how Jim Steinman gave Celine Dion All By Myself and then Meatloaf was so mad because he wanted to sing it. And Jim Steinman was like, I wrote it for a woman! Meatloaf's like, no!
Aww.
But he did get to sing it eventually.
It's All Coming Back to Me is my favorite Celine Dion song.
It's a great song.
Yeah. I don't know the words to it.
I would join you and teach you the words, but I think that Matt and Jim might actually riot at that point.
Oh,
If you guys want me to start singing fucking Magic Dance to you, I'll do it. So you better watch it.
Nobody sings Magic Dance to me except for David Bowie.
Dance,
We need
magic,
to do-
dance, magic, dance,
Oh,
magic.
he's doing it. Oh, no.
a DVD commentary for Labyrinth.
I don't think
we'd
that's a
have
good
so much
idea
fun.
because that movie
I
is
think it's
good.
fun. Yeah, but I think there's a lot of stuff to joke about and make comments on. I think we would have a great time.
You
Well,
know
listen.
that this is my favorite movie since childhood. I won't joke about it. It's serious business.
John, I
So it's
guess
just
I have
Matt
to say,
and Vanessa angry.
also my favorite movie since childhood, and I have to say, I'll take any fucking excuse to watch that movie again.
I thought you were going to say,
love that
if you
movie.
say a word during that movie, we're
Say
doing
one word
commentary.
during that movie.
I mean, he does the fushigi balls. His cup is so large. His hair is so crazy. And the puppets are delightful. And also, the Bog of Eternal Stench is just a fucking...
It's a
so
great
stupid.
movie, but I
Diarrhea.
think it would be a fun. I think it would be a fun part. That's all.
Yeah.
I think it would be fun to do. Anyway, so they do their little song like off screen. I was surprised there wasn't like a ceremony or anything.
I
but,
know.
like,
I was expecting it.
yeah, I thought there'd be like a Chrono Trigger kind of event where they're doing this thing and then it raises and they're like, oh, actually, true lovers have to sing together, and that's the
I
only
love
way
this.
that this temple will come out of the water. So that's just
Yeah.
a little kink here.
Loved it. I had
And apparently
Jessica,
there aren't any like true lovers in the town.
I had Jessica and Kyle sing to each other. And I love that this game, you know, I guess it was like disc era, so they could do this stuff. I love that you do get like little songs. You know, you get the voice actors going like da 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 da. It's really fucking fun. I really liked it. And then you do Jessica and Kyle, and then you do Nash and Mia.
And they're both kind of crappy, especially Jessica and Kyle. But Nash and Mia they don't have the heart yet. They aren't, you know, I think they were feeling awkward. They weren't ready to express true love.
No.
And then Alex is like, I guess I gotta do it. And
Yeah.
he starts playing. He doesn't even sing though, which is a cop out. He just plays his stupid ocarina.
Yeah. He's like, my lover is my ocarina.
And then meanwhile, cut to
I make her sing when I blow her.
prison. And Luna is there with a bunch of the other prisoners, like that little girl that got kidnapped from Thieves Town, and some of the other people that have been kidnapped. And she's like, "Hey, why don't we sing?" And Zenobia's like, "You fool! Your song will do nothing." And Luna's like, "I'm gonna sing anyways." La 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 la. And the song is so beautiful, and they harmonize perfectly, even with the distance. It was a real somewhere out there moment.
Well, and then those three sisters, I guess. I don't know if they're sisters. The three
Vile
bad
Tribe.
ladies show up. The Vile Tribe shows up.
Yeah,
and
the
bad
Zenobia.
lady number one
Yeah.
is like, this song sucks. And bad lady number two is like, I hate music. And then bad lady number three is like, even you two have to be moved by this amazing song. It's the most wondrous melody we've ever heard. And they just sit there going,
So bad lady number 3, I think, is Royce, right? She was the one in the fire dungeon, and she doesn't. You can tell she's like the girl from the Misfits who actually wants to be friends with
Right.
Gem and the Holograms, but they're too snobby, and they think that her music's too
Yeah, the one with
weird.
she's got the silver hair, right?
Yeah, and you can tell she actually does want to help so far. And so that's the one, Royce. She's the one who's kind of like, hey, you know, they're not so bad. Let's not be shitty.
yeah.
And
But
then
I mean, we all agree that the Misfits were right. They were the better
Yeah.
band.
their songs were better.
Their songs were better.
Mm-hmm.
Jem was only on top because of nepotism, and Misfits rule.
Oh, I thought
it's
you
not
guys
bad.
meant like the Misfits, like the punk band.
No, nobody likes
Yeah,
that.
the
do.
punk band from Gem and the Holograms. That's
Yeah.
the only Misfits I know. Anyway, so the Blue Dragon Temple rises out. I found this was again. I'm still having problems with just the sheer amount of encounters and how hard they are to. I mean, at least I'm getting leveled up, but according to Matthew, there's no point. But I am getting money, so I did get to buy all those wonderful. What are they called again? Bromides. I did buy all those bromides after this.
Little porno
Oh,
pics.
where do you buy them?
From Rames's store. You have to do it.
No.
Pretty
OnlyFans.
soon.
You can get them at OnlyFans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think you have to do it like basically in the very soon right now in the game. You have to go
I know.
back to Rames's thing.
I know we're all really young, but remember when you had to buy pornography in person from a clerk?
That's crazy. My dad told me about that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So that you buy those 3 bromides from Rames's shop, and then you buy the reminiscer so you can watch any cutscene again. And all this together, I think, costs 80,000 silver or whatever the currency is.
Mm-hmm.
Back at Rames's Hooters convenience store, I guess. I don't know how you describe it.
You know, Ramis was so worried about making his daddy proud, and I'm sure that once he finds out that his son has a thriving pornography business, he's going to be just thrilled with him.
Full of half-naked pictures of his friends.
Yeah. And many of the pictures appear to have been taken candidly.
And you will notice, like, when you look at these bromides, they always pan down to show feet.
Show feet.
Well, I haven't
They
noticed that,
always
Johnny,
show
but thanks
feet.
for pointing it out.
They show feet. I'm not the only one who's noticed this, I'm sure. Right, guys? You've noticed that? They show feet?
Johnny
Well, I
always
didn't even
plays
know
his
where to buy
jury
them, so-
in Street Fighter 6, and I don't know why.
Just big feet.
Show feet.
Oh, Matthew and I played Street Fighter 6 together, and it was great. We had a good time.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, I've been waiting to do it again, and you're never around. I also re-downloaded
sorry.
Soul Calibur 6, just for you.
Yay! Yeah, I'll go on the Patreon. I think we need to set up a tournament or something. I think that'd be really fun. If
I played some Street Fighter 6 like yesterday or the day before for a few minutes, and it had been like a week since I played it, and I realized I had completely forgotten how to play the game.
No, at least with Soul Calibur, like they're all exactly the same. You know how to play Soul Calibur. Like there's the guard, and then there's the 3 buttons.
I don't know that I ever want to go back to a game that makes me memorize little codes on the controller to do special moves when I just want to be able to hit a button to do them.
It's true. All right, so we finally meet the Blue Dragon. The Blue Dragon's like, "Oh yeah, man, it's all cool. Don't be stressed." I'm like, "Oh no, you're seriously about to be murdered." He's like, "Ah, don't worry about it. It's like it's
whatever.
cool. Who's gonna murder me? I'm just like chill. I don't get worried
Yeah.
about this kind
Now
of thing."
go into another room for a minute.
Yeah. Go pick there's like something in a chest for you in the other room. Why don't you go get it? And you get, I like every time you get one of these accessories, you get a really terrible 90s CG cutscene of the accessory like falling down and spinning.
Yeah, and it's like they're not that impressive of designs, you know? It's like it's a slightly fancy helmet, but it's not like, oh my god, I want, a prop replica of that.
I thought,
Yeah,
I thought the helmet looked very
stupid.
silly. Yeah,
I think it's
Yeah.
stupid.
It's got little flappies
It
on either
does.
side.
It looks
Yeah,
like
it's
it,
kinda like
it looks like something a little kid would put on and be like, "I'm the Dragon Knight."
it kind of looks like a fedora, but with safari flaps. You know.
Yeah, he's a.
A lot of
Alex
people
is the
said
only
Alex.
one who could pull it off.
Exactly.
Suddenly he's carrying around 2 little cubes in his pocket. I think they're dice.
He's never fought for anything. He's fighting for that helmet.
All right.
I'm sorry,
so,
Vanessa. Let's turn this into a Taskmaster joke.
He's never fought for anything. He's fighting for those 5 points. All right, I'm back on board.
Right. So, so the Blue Dragon Temple. We come back into the Blue Dragon's lair, and the Blue Dragon, he's gone. He's already been.
Wait, I got it.
Hear from the.
All right. Here's your task. Build the stupidest looking helmet you can build. Your time starts
You know
now.
what? I would like to propose something. And this is for Vanessa. I think at this point I'm the only holdout for Taskmaster. And Vanessa's
Mistake.
the only holdout for I think you should leave.
She's
So
watched I Think You
when
Should Leave.
if Vanessa
she's watched it.
no she hasn't. If Vanessa
Yes,
I've
she
watched some
has.
of it.
if Vanessa agrees to watch I Think You Should Leave seasons 1, 2, and 3, they're like 30 minutes apiece. The seasons are or something like that.
The whole
Maybe
thing?
an
You're
hour.
an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah. The entire season, hour and 15 minutes. I will watch whatever she can pick 2 seasons of Taskmaster to watch.
Ooh,
That's a good deal because
now.
Taskmaster episodes are like an hour long.
Yeah.
That is a good deal. I have a couple of questions. If I have already seen the sketch online, may I skip
No!
it in my
No.
Sorry. Gotta just
No,
run
because
it
they
back.
roll into
2 full
each other.
seasons.
Like,
That's like 8 times the content that you're watching.
I've seen tables and I've seen the egg. I've
Yeah,
seen
but
the
maybe you'll
ghost
like
house.
it better in the whole context. You
Maybe
haven't
I
seen it
will.
in the context of the show.
you know, it
See, I do
it builds you
think
up to be
Taskmaster is
laughing
better in
and
the old content.
I feel
and
like
be experiencing
this-
silly stuff. It doesn't work on its own, much like Tree Wizard was the stupidest thing I've ever seen the first time I saw it.
I think the sketches and I think you should leave are placed very intentionally relative to the sketches around it. So you got to watch the whole thing.
I'll do it, but
Can't promise you'll
I
like
think
it.
that if we... No, that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say I think that we should roll it into some kind of, bonus episode for the patrons or something like that, you know?
Okay. I like that.
I think you should task.
I don't know that the patrons can handle us talking about I Think You Should Leave anymore.
That's true.
Or just our listeners in general. Or probably Taskmaster, to be honest with you.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
I don't know. When 5 hours after Vanessa posted that Kotaku article, I was like, man, I wonder what's up with that. I want to read the comments. There were 0 comments and 0 likes on it.
I know. I just want to spread joy. I just
know.
want people to be happy. And by people, I mean Alex Horn.
I mean, it's a British panel show. Like, you're already limiting your audience.
All right, moving on. Blue dragon, blue eyes, white dragon.
Yeah,
eyes,
he's like, I've got the heart
white
of the
dragon.
cards, and then he dies.
So he dies or disappears or is enslaved. He definitely turns into a Jedi.
Yeah, he turns into a Force ghost.
Yeah, he's definitely a Force ghost. And it's like, all right, well, anyway, you got to go into the Vile Tribe territory in order to meet the last dragon, the Black Dragon, and then do that dragon's trials. And then you'll become the real Dragon Master, and only a Dragon Master can defeat the Magic Emperor, who is Galleon.
Do you think when we become the Dragon Master, we're going to get like a bunch of cool skills and stuff? Or is it just going to be like, great, now go fight Galleon?
Probably gonna be
every
that.
time you get one of these pieces of armor, you get like a crazy new skill that takes all your MP.
Is it from the armor, though?
Yeah.
So if you take the armor off, you don't get it?
I think you just have to do that point in the story.
Yeah.
You have to have it.
So I don't think it's tied to the armor.
Well, but it's okay. It's at that.
All right,
every
that
time
fire
that happens,
dragon
you get a
thing
new
is
skill.
fucking fantastic. That is a screen wipe skill, and I love it. You can only use it once, but when you're like, fuck, I'm getting beat up. Oh, I know what to do. Kill everything. It's an auto win.
Yep.
So you head now to Tamer Pass. I believe you run into Leica for a second here, and he's just like, "Hey kids, how you doing? Want to go hang out for a sec? We can talk
yeah.
about things." I'm definitely not anyone mysterious. I'm just a normal, regular, innocent man.
Is there a Is there a third Dragon Master's friend that we don't know about? Maybe that's Leica. I still kind of think that Leica is Dragon Master Dine.
Well, there's the late Lemia,
A fourth,
the one who had the mask. Yeah. I know the answer.
Well, there's Galleon, and then there's Jessica's dad. So that's 2 for sure.
Mm-hmm. And then there's Lemia, so that's 3. And then there is no other one.
No other one.
Mm-hmm. So
okay, so Leica is Dragon Master Dine. All right, just so that we're
I
on the
don't know
same
what you're
page.
talking about.
Dragon Master Dine's dead. We saw his grave.
Exactly. That rusty sword stuck in the grave. He's super dead. Why would he let his sword rust?
Timur Pass is
Remember
garbage, and it really frustrated me.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff to find, so you kind of have to do the whole map, and it's kind of big.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of monsters.
And then you, when you get to the end, like there's literally nothing to talk about for the purposes of this podcast in the middle of this dungeon, other than that there's a lot of monsters and it's a big dungeon. But at the end, you do get suddenly jumped upon by Zenobia. Is it all 3 of them, or is it just Zenobia?
It's her, I think. This part caused my game to soft lock because I'm playing with the powers of Andraste, and 2 of the night creatures you have to fight here don't take any physical damage. So when I told Alex to attack them and deal his usual 9,999 attack damage, it just kept doing 0, and he just kept attacking over and over and over and over and and over again. It wouldn't stop until I reset the game, and that happened to me 4 times in a row. I thought it was just glitching. I kept soft locking the game over and over and over again, and then I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna have to actually play it for a minute."
Are you using the? You must be using the auto battle.
No, I would just have, for some reason in this one, I was just having him do a regular attack command, and he just kept doing it over and over and over and over and over again. He wouldn't stop until he registered some kind of damage. But I eventually had to just switch it to one of the other. I think it was who's the mage character, the boy?
Nash.
Yeah, I just switched to Nash and have him do an attack, or a magic attack.
All right. Well,
So they summon. Describe what happened. I just burped while I said that.
They summon a bunch of soldiers that are
there's 3
armor.
waves.
Yeah, and they're dogs. And you just keep having to fight wave after wave, and it looks like they're gonna just keep doing this. And Nash is like, "We can't hold out for much longer." I'm like, "Yeah, I can. I'm basically taking no damage."
Yeah, I was one-shotting these groups.
Yeah, this is no problem.
Nash is tired.
Mm-hmm. But then suddenly, from the hills, a rain of arrows comes down, and you look up and see a man and a woman with kind of tribal face painty stuff going on. Mm-hmm. And they go gallop away on their horses, and you're like,
a sexy smirk first.
Dudes?
You're welcome.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Sexy smirk just to make Vanessa melt.
Mm-hmm. And I was like,
they ride off. Mm-hmm. Who were those 2?
We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, spoiler alert, they're a monogamous couple, so relax, Vanessa.
Wait, I thought they were a brother and sister.
No, they're husband and wife.
Oh!
That doesn't preclude them from being a monogamous couple in this game, Johnny.
Oh, okay. That's that is very true. What was I thinking?
Gross.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
Keep it in the family. It's a family affair.
Mm-hmm.
We make it to Tamar, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. There's a man that wants our help to go sell medicine to what is essentially like a native tribe. And he's like, it's fake, but who cares?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like that this game brings up real historical atrocities and is like, let's think about this.
Let's joke about this, yeah.
He brought his smallpox-laden blankets, and now he's fleecing them by selling fake medicine
Let's
to
get some
cure
snake
the
oil
disease
for him.
that he caused. Yep.
What else happens here, Johnny?
You can buy Kyle the wind sword and not a great sword. Apparently the wind sword's way better.
I already had a great sword.
Interesting. All right. So you when you walk around the town, this is the town I believe that has the bar that has the man who talks about how he stays here because he does not want to talk to his wife.
Yeah. Wife bad.
When you get to the north entrance of the town, you'll see Leica there, and he's like, sure, I don't actually know where to find a black dragon, because why would I know that kind of thing? But I do know how to get you flying again. So why don't you go to Might's tower? He's a little stinky, but he knows his stuff, and he'll be able to help you. However, you should know he only likes me, really, so one of you can come. So, so he gets an idea of who he's helping, but the rest of you got to stay and drink. And Kyle's like, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I mean,
Kyle's like, I volunteer to stay.
Yeah, I felt for Kyle here, Like, I get it.
And then you get, so you head out with Leica, and he's like, you're going to be Dragon Master soon, and that's pretty amazing. It's a lot of responsibility, but you're going to be great. You get to the tower, and there is someone standing in the tower, standing in the door. In my version, it was a child was blocking the door, and you're like, hey, and lets you both in, even though Might says how much he hates visitors, he will let Leica in. So then you have to go through it was a cool looking dungeon, especially in the PSP version, but it was a dungeon. It's a JRPG dungeon.
Did you have to solve the password or whatever though?
Yeah, so in my version, and I don't know if it's on your version, in my version there's a sign on the wall that tells you how to solve it, and so I just did that in the order that the sign said.
There was kind of that, but it was it said password of the day is blue star, bright star, near star, and then it trailed off.
Yeah, and so
the
there's 4 things. So, you can figure out that it's going to be the other one, right?
Well, yeah, but I didn't know which one the blue star was supposed to be, or the near star, or the bright star. I mean, I figured the bright star was probably the sun.
Yeah, and the blue star is going to be Earth.
Mm-hmm.
The near star's got to be, I guess, the moon, because that's the one you're on. Or there was the crescent star or something. I don't remember. Anyway, that was the moon, and I forgot what the 4th one was.
Well, puzzles
blue.
suck because Earth no star.
Yeah, it was
Well,
blue,
but-
so my assumption was blue star was moon. So I fucked this up a couple of times. But then, it's not hard to figure out.
Yeah. So you head through that door, and then finally, so you got to walk through a different door each time, and each one has a little crest of each symbol on it. And once you go through the correct series of doors, then you end up in this tube tower full of what looks like brass instruments in my version that you can crawl into and walk around and get some treasure.
Huh. That's not what I thought it was. It's all industrial. There's elevators.
Yeah.
And,
I think because it's an isometric perspective on the PSP version, they sort of look like crafted tubas, basically, that you're going into.
It's all like pipe work.
Did someone say tuba?
Oh no. Vanessa's gonna fat shame me again.
you're so beefy these days. She
true.
shouldn't fat shame
It's all
anybody.
this-
It should be me.
Wow.
But I'm not walking around. So.
If you're muscular
yeah.
beefy, you don't get the tuba, you get the electric guitar.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Vanessa just fat shamed me with tuba music. I'm never watching Taskmaster again.
Why would you hurt yourself to hurt me?
I mean, that's just what I do.
Think about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Matthew, he cuts off his nose to spite his face.
Yeah.
But that's even
Fuck
worse.
my stupid face. I don't even need this nose.
Oh, you do. You gotta smell.
So you got to go through this dungeon with just you and Laika, which is fine. I mean, you guys do a lot of damage. And so
Yeah.
it's fine.
I didn't have a problem. I was a little irritated not to have any healers with me.
I mean,
Yeah,
at this point I can't speak for you, but at this point I have the cat has an absolute fuck ton of healing items. So it was pretty easy, but also you don't take a lot of damage. Like it kills everything in one hit.
I do have one move
though.
that will heal everyone. I think you get it from the blue dragon, but it does use a lot of MP.
Yeah.
Yes, you do get that. And the cat is unreliable as far as healing you in combat is concerned, but I was able to just heal in between fights and be fine.
Yes, I did that as well.
All right. So we make our way through this twist of elevators. I was surprised because these are the kind of like slanty elevators where normally you'd have to fight like 5 waves of enemies, like in every JRPG. But that doesn't happen in this one, so that was interesting. You take those slant elevators up to the top, and then you meet a grouchy man.
Might.
Yeah.
Sorry, you
What a
might
great guy.
a grouchy man.
We get this cutscene of him, and he's like fiddling with his stuff, and he's like, I might hate everyone, fiddle, 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 fart.
This is me. I relate to Might so much.
I don't like people, and I don't like things, and
He smells
like is
bad?
like, okay.
Yep.
He does fart all the time. Yeah,
he
you even
does.
hear it. During a cutscene, you hear him let one rip.
How'd you feel
And
about
I
that,
had my
Vanessa?
subtitles on. Well, I had my subtitles on, so it even said in bracket farts. And I was like, great. Great. I'm happy. I'm so delighted. Love this game. Great game. Good game. Love game. Fiddle, 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 fart.
So he's like, oh, you want an airship, huh? And Laika's like, oh, you know how I said I didn't know where the Black Dragon was, but he might actually be south of Tamar with like the Prairie Tribe there.
Yeah, he might actually maybe just be exactly in this location, and I'll make you a map and tell you how to get there.
And so then he's like, okay, well, I'm going to stay here and hang out with my bestie farts, man. So why don't you skedaddle? And there, fortunately, is a tuba ride down to the base of the tower.
Unfortunately.
And that is the end of the chunker.
We did it.
Wow.
Ooh.
A reasonably
it is-
lengthed episode for once in our goddamn career.
We did talk about going a little further at the end of the last episode, but that turned out to, like I didn't want to do all the dragons.
Listen, you fucked up. Like
I fucked up.
You had like 20 hours of content for our chunker.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I had like
it's
20 hours of content.
Blowfish
for
or
our chunker.
whatever that name is.
Magikarp.
Sure.
Magikarp's back. Yay, everyone loves Magikarp.
I guess that's my other level up is that I'm back on my nonsense with the claw machine, and I got a Magikarp.
It's amazing.
It is a really nice plush of Magikarp.
Anyway, so next time we're going to play, and they're just so you know how, like I said, we're going to get to a place and everyone's real confused about where that place is. I put a picture that shows exactly where we're getting to, and you will not forget this picture. Vanessa, tell me this picture. What was this picture of?
One moment. As always, I have the
It's
show
definitely
notes
Nash.
open while I'm recording like a
He's
professional.
in a robot
so
frog
let
with
me
spiky
just,
shoulders. He's been slapped on the face.
Yep.
There's a red hand mark on his face. And he's jerking it.
Probably.
Yeah. Wow.
You can't see where his hand is. So yeah, there's something called a magic masher you fight in Ruid. We're going to get to there. And that is where Nash apparently gets slapped and trapped in a robot. So
Sweet.
Enjoy this.
Hot.
Yeah. Slapped so hard he has a perfect handprint on his face.
I wonder who does the slapping. Oh, I'm going to spend all week wondering.
And then you'll find
I
out
bet it's Jessica.
Next time.
She's a real slapper.
on Square Roots. All right, Jim, what are you squarely against?
I am roundly for how stupid these dragon accessories look. Every time one flew down from the sky and the music played, I was like, I would simply say no, thank you.
You gotta wear it, man.
I know. Matt, what are you squarely against?
I'm roundly for Might. I appreciated his attitude towards other people and his farting. What about you, Vanessa? What are you squarely against?
I am squarely against the couple times in this chunker when characters brought up Kyle's cross-dressing to either shame him or harass him. The cat tells him that he looked alluring dressed as a woman, and the villainess in the Red Dragon cave says, "If only it were that easy for you, my cross-dressing foe, I'm not going anywhere." And it just made me think a lot about Republicans who hate drag brunch, and squarely against it.
Drag brunch, once again legal in Florida. Thank you, federal
Is
judiciary.
Hooray!
Yay! Yeah, Florida sucks. That's my hot take. At least the
does.
politics. The people are
It's not
fine.
a very hot take. It's just what it is.
Yeah. So, my squarely against
Who asked you?
is
Johnny, what are you squarely against?
my squarely against is I'm squarely against. Let's see. You know that the black dragon's just going to disappear, and there's nothing
Yeah.
you can do about it. You know it's going to happen. He's going to
No,
get killed
he's gonna
or
be there.
enslaved.
gonna
And
be
you can't be
fine.
like, hey, dude, let's just all back up against a wall and kill the Magic Emperor right now. We can save ourselves a lot of final
No, it'll be
dungeons
great.
here.
I am fully anticipating the Black Dragon to be a racist caricature because that's the style that this game has.
I mean,
Oh no.
I feel like even in the late 90s, no, I don't know, though. You might
It's
be
hard
right.
to tell.
Good chance
Yeah, I
this
hope
dragon has
not.
an afro. That's all I'm saying.
How many more episode series is?
You should probably do your vote pretty
Yeah.
soon. We are heading towards
Yeah.
the end. It's not a
Okie
super
dokie.
long game. I'd say maybe 7. That's like on the long
Maybe
side.
7 more episodes?
No,
3
like,
more.
So maybe 3 more. Yeah.
All right.
So enough time for you to put Starfield in the vote if you wanted to.
It's really tempting.
If you put it in,
I mean,
it'll
I
win.
definitely.
Isn't it? But I think there'd be like 3 or 4 weeks of no game.
Why?
Well, yeah.
Isn't it coming
what-
out at the end of September?
That was the beginning of September.
Oh, let me see. I thought it was the end, but
Starfield release date September
Oh, you're
6th.
right. It's gonna be tight. I would say
Do
we
it.
probably shouldn't.
Do it.
And plus, we wouldn't know where to play to
Do it.
because
Yeah,
You
because
know.
it's brand new and no one would have. No, I can't do it. Besides, people don't actually like it when we play brand new games because they haven't played it yet.
That means
so.
that I have to play fucking Fallout. Ugh.
Not necessarily. We'll
Look
see
at
what
me.
wins. I
I'm
have a
Pip
whole.
Boy. Blah, 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 blah.
Okay, yeah. Just for that, you do have to play fucking Fallout.
Pip boy. Da, 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 da.
All right. Well, we don't have any emails this week, so I think it's time for June.
Oh wait, I think I promised Tracy that I'd read the email that we didn't.
I saw that you sent
yeah,
it
let's
back
do
to
it
the
now.
group, and I was annoyed
I
about
sent
it.
it back to the
Yeah.
group, and
Let's do
then
it.
we didn't record, and so she's have to wait even longer for her very good email to be read. Here it goes. Hi, Squitters! Longtime listener and group chatterbox Tracy here with a question for you all. We all know that in the original Final Fantasy VII, Vanessa boyfriend Reeve is actually operating Kate Sith, aka Traitor McTraitorface, who betrays the
I
party
believe it's Ketchi.
by giving the keystone to Shinra, then has a change of heart and redeems himself? Question mark. Remake shines a spotlight directly on Reeve and how remorseful he feels over his actions at Shinra, which makes it a little harder for me to believe he'll go on to betray the party for Shinra's sake as he does in the original. What do you all think might happen? Will Reeve give a middle finger to fate and go full rogue on Shinra now that fate can possibly be changed? Will he enter our world and make out with Vanessa? Thank you for a great series. My experiences with both the original and remake were vastly improved by playing along with you all, and I loved hearing your commentary each week. Lunar ahoy! From Tracy. Let's just round robin this. Yeah.
I think that they'll kidnap Reeve's daughter or wife, and they'll have to betray. Because I don't, as I said a lot in the Final Fantasy remake series, I don't think they'll be changing the plot that much. Maybe they'll be changing the motivations, but it'll still happen.
Jim.
I think they're going to leave it out because they didn't even really do anything with it in the original. I don't know if you guys remember when Kaseth betrays you, after he does it, he's like, let's just pretend like it never happened. And then he rejoins your party, and then everybody just pretends like it never happened.
Johnny.
Okay. I'm going to say that Ketchi does betray the party, but then you find out that he has been taken out and like he's not in control. Because I don't see him having a family. He seems like a real weird loner type who with all these like furry toys. Not that there's anything wrong with furry toys. I just mean like, okay, I'm being judgy here. I would say that he's more of a furry and a plushie and maybe Ace Arrow. And so he doesn't have kids or a wife, but that let's say Heidegger comes in and is taking control of Ketchi during this moment. Vanessa.
I think he's gonna come to our world and make out with me.
Finally. Speaking of weird Ace Arrow strange people.
Yeah, Vanessa was saying today that she needs to find a husband, so that would be the best case scenario.
Yeah, it would be. One of like the major
words
things
I never expected to hear from Vanessa.
One of the major things I look for in a man is fictional. So if one of those fictional people can just come into the world, that would be great.
But then if they came into our world, they'd have real needs and desires that may not mesh with yours.
And also, just to be clear, if a fictional man came into this world, he would not have a job.
What if he was would it be better or worse if he had no genitals like a Ken?
I'm not
less expectations?
Genital per se.
Yeah. You know what? These are pretty intense personal questions. We should move.
They are, yeah.
Think about it though, and we'll rediscuss it.
We'll circle back to this next.
I'll work on a mock-up of my ideal, and then we can all get to work on finding it.
Yeah, I'm just stretching and flexing here. Oh, all right, Jim. It's time for our hot Patreon plug.
Look at these traps, Jim. Jim, look at these traps.
Man.
Boink, boink, boink. Boink, boink.
So good traps.
Look, he's got spikes built into the ground. He's got little tripwires. Such good traps.
At patreon.com/Square Roots Podcast, you can sign up for our wonderful, amazing, benefits-ridden Patreon.
So many benefits.
This month. Well, I guess it was technically benefits-ridden.
Yes, it was July.
Last month, I guess technically this month, we released our most recent bonus episode, which was a watch-along commentary for the movie Deep Rising.
What a good time.
Starring Treat Williams, Famke Janssen, and Kevin J. O'Connor. We've got a ton of other content on there. We've got level up episodes. We've got movie discussions.
Squarely against.
We've played other
instant
games.
classics.
Squarely against
We
episodes.
played some Taskmaster
instant classics.
ones.
Tons of stuff on there. We did.
There's the Excel presentations.
We have a.
You should check out.
We have a presentation. We have a multimedia episode. All of that is available at the $3 tier. At the $5 tier, you can access all of that wonderful content. plus the ability to vote on the games that we play on the show. We will have a new vote coming up shortly, probably maybe the same week as this episode releases, so keep an eye out for that. Another benefit of being a patron is we like to personally thank some of our patrons on the air. I'm going to kick us off this week by thanking David Green, J-Bone, Florian Jonas Kramer, Lex Averial, Isaac Wright, Moonapause Madness, Jerry Schreffler, Arthur A., Matt, Big Disney Energy, Megan Sullivan, and Justin Rapp.
I'd like to thank Ron, Adam H., Brian Pitt, Two Hats Colliding into One Great Ben, Andy Smith, Justin Ham, Star Drifter, Gigantified Micro Space Hamster, Esteban Gonzalez, Daniel Wood, ENS, and Oh No.
Go, Johnny.
I wanted to thank Ron.
Yeah.
I
everyone
like
fights
this,
over Ron.
Two hearts colliding into one great need. That's pretty awesome reference there, Ben. Great job, Ben, is what I'm saying. I liked it a lot. I would like to thank Citrus C, Wishbone, Skay, Jason Timms, Seattle Sounders will host Club World Cup in 2025. Stephen Paget, Dr. Fine, say everyone's name, Trey, Wash in the Wind, Keysby Knight, welcome to Cute Boy Jail, honk honk, Tracy, and Jack Mazzell.
And I would like to thank Chad Wilson, Northern Loon. One person can't just eat all the fully loaded ones. Rachel, Tracy the Borg Queen. It makes me uncomfortable to hear my name read on a podcast. My battery is low. Cameron Shoei, Mary Queen of Scoffs, Diamonds are Dragon Poop, Andy M, John Scala, and John B. Quaker Oatman.
All right, friends, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. You can send us an email to have read on the air to squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come see our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group, for smart, cool, very attractive people. Or find us on Blue Sky at squarerootspod.bsky.
Social?
Bsky.
Social, yeah.
Social.
Please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. You'll find Stephen on Twitter as Beige on Beige and on YouTube. Links are in the show notes. And go on
All right,
Blue
for
Sky.
Square Roots,
right
I'm Jim
now.
Banks.
There's so much furry cock, you won't believe it. Every time you look at the what's fresh and new, it's just Bowser with a big old boner.
I think
That has not been my Blue Sky
yeah,
experience.
no, that's not my
I
experience
haven't
either.
seen it at all. But that's what people are saying. They're like, it's weird. It's just coming up with furry porn. Is it like one of those things where people say, look what it says autocompletes to when you use Google?
Yeah.
No, a lot of furries did join recently, and there has been an influx of furry stuff, but like, you have to follow it. It doesn't just appear.
I think you have to go onto the web version and like turn off safe search or something to get that kind of stuff. I haven't done that.
Nah, it's not that advanced.
I
There's
just
no-
want to
Yeah,
see
there
Jake
is.
Tapper plug
And
his new
SFW
novel.
tag.
Yeah, no, there are. Well, I think a lot of people aren't using them yet, but you can say no pornography. There's little buttons you can push in Blue Sky.
Yeah, because I've seen some people complaining like they're trying to silence our porn. It's like, it's fine. Let people choose what they want to see.
But
That's
people
not a
aren't
huge
tagging
deal.
their porn. You got to tag your porn. So
You
I
gotta
can
tag
open
your
up Blue
porn.
Sky on the train.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
All right, yep. For Square Roots, I'm Jim
I'm
Banks.
Matthew Van Zant.
I'm Johnny Brandon.
And I'm Vanessa. Bye.
Bye.
I miss you.
Oh, 11:31. You're welcome, Jim. We did it. Just for you, baby. We're on a tight time schedule.
Then let's move on. In 1 second, I just got to pee to the quest log.
Everybody watch Johnny P. It's Johnny's BP time.
Be on camera, John.
Everybody watch Johnny P. His pee will come out fine. Everybody watch Johnny P. We all love his flow. Everybody watch Johnny P. Then it's time to go back to the show. I'm so happy, Matt. What a gift you've given me.
I was lying about it all week.
It would have been even funnier if you would have hated it. Like, why didn't you hate it? That would have been so much funnier.
I did that tree wizard bit from the first season. I still was like, this is not very good.
No, Johnny loved it, which is the reason I sent it to him, but I never meant to represent it as my favorite moment.
That's weird.
John is
weird.
talking to us while he pees. That is not allowed. I'm just kidding. I'm a lady. We talk to each other while we pee all the time. Check out a women's public restroom. We're all in the stalls just gabbing away.
But also, it's important to note that Catherine Ryan can get it.
I'll have to watch the first season. Vanessa said to skip the first season when I first started watching, and I just never went back and watched it. Look at all my pills.
It's fine. It's just, I think that 2 is a better season. So, like, if I'm trying to get someone to love Taskmaster, I'll be like, oh, start with season 2.
I mean, the first episode hooked me.
The first task of the first episode, the watermelon buffet, is amazing.
Which one is that?
That's the one where they have to eat a watermelon.
The first task of the second season is eat an egg, and that one just fucking slayed me. The guy just like, I'm not going to eat this, and then he's like cooking it up, and he's seasoning it.
Yeah.
And then the second guy does it, the third guy does it, and then it's Catherine Ryan, and she like sips the egg.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was when she sipped the egg that I was just like, this is insanity.
Yeah.
So,